First move up, supported prior, resistance became support here on this little pullback at 1130. Closed at the high, gapping all-time closing high, a little bit higher this morning. So buyers firmly in control, very steady in the SPY. So we want to keep on below where we are right now. We want to have alerts down at, say, 268.40 and 268. If there's some selling potential support in this area right here.
As in Samsung,
270 would be the natural whole number divisible with 10 on the upside. IWM didn't quite get above the 154. So you can see right on the open it spiked up here, similar to where it stopped out a couple other times recently in the last week. Here. So it's a pretty good consolidation, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 days. So we did have the hard down at the end of it, going into the end of the year, but right back inside of this consolidation. So I'd say a close above 154, or even a strong move intraday above 154 and a consolidation here. You want to get long. Be mindful of 154.70. We topped out twice here on the 19th and 18th. All right, so the first one is D. So D wants to buy SCG for 0.669 shares. Each shareholder of SCG would get 0.669 shares of D. For those who aren't familiar with how stock merger deals work, you multiply that 0.669 times the current price of D, and that should give you where SCG should be trading when the deal closes. It's trading below that price. If you then take the actual price where it's trading above the price where it should be at closing, and you get the percentage, say it's 93% like it was a half hour ago when I checked it, that means there's a 7% deal spread. My general rule of thumb on all stock mergers is if there's a spread greater than 5%, closing time is supposed to be less than a year. In this case, they said they'll close it by the end of the year, so it's pretty close to almost a full year, unless they can accelerate that timetable. It's worth looking for the typical merger arb trade, which is the merger arb hedge funds will sell D and buy SEG. There'll be downward pressure on D on the open. Now, the wrinkles in this case, and I'm not going to do 20 minutes on merger arb trading, but the wrinkle is here, they want to buy utility. And so you can see, and if you look at the press release, they say very clearly in the press release, the customers of the company they're acquiring in South Carolina will each get $1,000 cash when the deal closes. That's to get the regulators to approve the deal. It's hard to see them not approving it with a $1,000 cash payment. Everybody in South Carolina probably covers their electric bill for the year for a lot of them. And so that's kind of the deal there. So I'm gonna look for selling pressure. I'm kind of hoping right on the open that spikes a little bit, maybe to 78 or something, and then look to see if large offers are holding and selling, and at the same time acquiring, buying shares of SCG. And so I will be looking to trade this on the short side. The issue though is if the spread actually collapses, if it gets down to 3% or less, there's less incentive for the funds to short D at that point. Then also I put on 75 and 76 where there could be institutional bids already coming into this deal announcement. It's not a slam dunk trade. It's a decent trade to look for the sellers to come in on the open and trade it on the short side initially at least. Next one is INTC. So I don't know why it popped initially to the upside in the after hours yesterday, but the news item that came out was not great. There's a design flaw in one of their chips, meaning that in order to deal with that design flaw, some operating systems are going to have to be programming changes or software changes are going to need to be made, and you can see it's getting hit pretty hard on that. This thing normally moves less than $1 intraday, So you can see it's already moved $3 from the high and the after hours to low now, which is a big move. If we take a look at it, kind of where it ran up from in the last couple of weeks, it broke out from around 43.70, which is $1.50 below where it is right now. I would think this 45 area here would act as there'd be some pretty nice sized bids there. Kind of similar to Oracle yesterday when it, that news broke intraday and it kind of flushed through a whole number and then it went back, pop back up. We want to see if it does the same thing and then do one of those. If it does actually hold 45, there's buying there. Play it for a move back up. If it goes all the way back up to 46. So you can see here's the initial move, takes it 46. There are buyers here. It broke through, came back to their test. It actually did a spike above, it looks like, unless these are late prints. Then started to hold 46. And then your move, not quite to 45 yet, but they're buying it here right in front of 45. So it's pretty clean so far. A lot of volume just came in here, so there's clearly people buying in front of $45. These are the two first logical spots where you would look for a bounce here if it bounces off this 45. So, this one normally trades 28 million shares a day. Easily could trade 50 million shares. It's going to be extremely liquid.
No, it's just not.
A better, if you get a longer consolidation one, this one intraday after the open, where it just moves sideways above or below an important level for more than 20, 30 minutes, you can build up a pretty large position, almost for our purposes unlimited in size, and just trade the break of that consolidation. Next one is IBM. Got quite an upgrade. It's gapping up to, well, here, let's look at the 30-minute. So this thing bounced from the mid 140s up to 146, 156.70. That's where it is right now. But it failed here. It come back down.
Yeah, just
after it came back down about $3, $3.50 here, we made a higher high, 57.70. And overshot to the downside. So that's playing a little bit of catch up, right? It caught an upgrade today. It did move up with all the other technology stocks yesterday. So it's playing a little bit of catch up. And this 156.70 is a tough spot here. With IBM, we've seen this a lot where it'll be strong red in the open, it'll consolidate at the high red in the open above some whole number, and then it breaks to the downside, it comes off $2, $3. So that's the first trade that comes to mind to me. Also, the recent high here, that have an alert at 157.40, between 157.40 and 157.70, where it topped out. And then, I guess this was earnings. Yeah, my first instinct is to be fading it in this area here, and we'll kind of see what happens after 10 o'clock if it doesn't come off that much. And then VRX. So VRX is one that we shorted a few weeks ago when it did a quick run up from 18 to 22. It came off a few dollars the next day. And then it's been consolidating for a couple of weeks above 20.50 against this 22, where it failed initially on the run up, and then it's been having trouble getting above here the last couple of weeks. It's gapping above this morning, so I just wanted to put it on there because there's a bunch of small news items on this one. They were going to have a settlement. They're going to pay down some debt. So these are good. These are good things that might cause a catalyst to actually have another up leg that can hold above 22. So let's just go back on the daily so we can kind of put this in perspective. So this had gap down. I forget what the catalyst was here, but it gapped down into the 50s, which brought it all the way down to $25 over the next few days. And then since then, it made new lows and consolidated for about a year. And now above 22, it brings back into play kind of this 24, 25 area. What did I put on the sheet? But 24 is my top resistance. So that would be a big move for today if it actually went from 22 to 24. But that's the idea is, the play was when it's down here at $10, is it going to go out of business? Are they going to be able to pay their debt? Blah, blah, blah. Like, people really thought there was a legitimate shot it could go out of business. Then things started to look a little bit better, and it went up to the mid-teens. It made a higher low. Now their cash flow is better. Their rate, guidance is better. And now it could overshoot to the upside. And so it's already doubled off the lows, obviously. But it could, go up to $24 to $26 before coming back and retesting 2022 again. So that's the setup. Big move up, consolidates, can it break to the upside? Even if it doesn't go to 24 today, maybe it just goes to 23, comes back and does a retest at 22. News comes out, goes to 22.40. I'll watch right on the open, see if it flashes down here. Buy some here against 21.90, 21.80. Weight Watchers. So Weight Watchers yesterday, WTW. Here's the 30-minute. So I had an offer up at 47.5 where it got hammered from the prior day to short it. I didn't get taken right on the open. It did have a 1.5 down move right there on the open. And if I got taken on the second time it came up there, when it spiked there, and didn't really pull back that much. It came back down about 75 cents. In these situations, usually you want to get taken right on the open on the spike, or the higher probability play. If it spikes on the open, comes down, and then the bids keep on stepping up, and then stepping up again, it's more of a bullish sign and a failure right on the open. And eventually closed at the highs. So looking at it today, 40, I put on the sheet, but 49.60 to 50. So before that, though, 48.60 to 49. This area right here was, the last few days, kind of was support. Now this can be resistance. So forgetting about 50, which ultimately is resistance, this area right here, 48.70 to 49 is the spot where I'd be looking to see if it failed right on the open if it spiked. And then on the downside, 46.70 to 47 support. Actually, let me just give you an example of, what was it, Watt? So Watt we had on there as a second day, and it sold off really hard. But this is a better example. Like, it got bought right on the open. It spiked right up to an area, potential failure area, on the open, and it failed there, and it came off $2.5 or something like that. But that's what you want to see. Something that came off was really weak, right on the open. Some people buy it. It comes back to an area where it broke down from the prior day. You short it, and it came off pretty good from there. Really good, actually. Anyway, getting back to BABA, which overshot to the downside, now overshot to the upside. So, okay, so this one broke down, went from 188 to 174 on one single day, spiked back up here to 182. I honestly thought this spot right here would be pretty close to best case scenario yesterday. It went through there. It consolidated actually right above 182 and then closed at the high, gapping higher this morning. So we got to go back to where here. That's 184.70 to 185. Then I guess 186.5, where it broke down from on this big $12 down day. So this up day, not a lot of stocks. I say this about Tesla from time to time, or Netflix. Not a lot of stocks can have just as big up moves as they do down moves. I guess this is one of them now. So this one, $10 up move, not quite as big as the down move was $12, but almost. So a spike to 186 and change on the open wouldn't surprise me if it topped out there, pulled into 183.5, 184, and then we would see what happens from there. And that's it. As always, be patient and good luck.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.